opinion. I liked Bugs.
Bugs is a great song.
That's your favorite Pearl Jam song is
Yeah,
Bugs?
I love Bugs.
All right,
Give me some Bugs.
No.
We'll be quiet.
But go talk to somebody. We'll have you on the show, Rick, but we're not going to talk about Pearl Jam.
Do I eat them raw or well done?
Yes.
I can go through the whole
All the
lyric if you need me to. Yeah.
Whole thing.
We have seen Bugs live, Daniel.
So have I. Wrigley.
All right. I'm gonna shut up. Listen to Rick.
Okay, sorry.
I was that's probably the basis of my opinion. Nicole, did you want to chime in on that? Or?
Any information I have about Pearl Jam is from that man right there.
Oh, so he's on our side.
They're okay. They are not my favorite. I own none of their albums. I think I like the song Light Years. I remember I bought that one.
Light Years is
that
beautiful.
Single.
Yes, binaural.
But it is not they're not my jam. Pearl Jam is not my jam.
And they're not a lot of people jam.
I respect them. I respect their talent.
In the last 15, 20 years of being a fan, I don't really fucking care what other people think. Like I used to be so like, oh my God, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to hear negative stuff. Now I'm just like, I don't fucking care, man. I'm too old to give a shit if somebody doesn't like my band anymore. Like,
do you think it's the same way as other bands like we were talking about Rolling Stones before?
Or Creed?
No.
But,
that's not even the same conversation.
But if we were talking about, nobody would argue with, maybe no one would argue with the Beatles, or maybe no one would argue with Nirvana because their catalog is so short and definitive.
Nirvana's got some shitty
Pearl
songs,
Jam is 25 years in, or records or whatever. Do you think that is a reason for it, or
no?
You've never? Nope. Okay, Rick, go ahead.
They lost me right away.
Yeah, go ahead. That's why I brought it up.
I first heard. I mean, I was 14 in 1991, so I was the prime corporate target of the grunge mechanism, right? And I remember the first time I saw the video for Alive, like when it first aired on MTV, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of a cool guitar riff, and then that fucking voice.
I liked Even Flow. I mean, we're close to the same age then. I liked Even Flow, and then from that,
yeah.
Rick, I guess I would say, I mean, did you like
what?
Did you like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden?
Okay.
Did you like everybody else? I guess.
Yeah, but those are different bands, Mike.
No, they're all different bands. Of course, they're all different bands.
Soundgarden.
I'm just saying.
I like Soundgarden, and
yeah, they were never my jam. I like out of that mix, I probably would say Alice in Chains' first album, Facelift. And then some is Soundgarden, like right up to Bad Motorfinger, maybe not even that as much as some of their.
Oh, that's one of my favorite albums.
I was going to say,
I will say
Motorfinger.
I will say this, like fucking Chris Cornell's voice.
Whoa, yeah.
He was awesome.
The greatest fucking vocals.
Yeah, Michael,
time,
you have to admit those Soundgarden SST records.
But that's not Chris Cornell's like pure voice.
No. But what Rick is saying, those are above and beyond anything that.
But those are more like the underground. Like,
well, when they did that Hunger, what was it with the
Hunger Strike,
Pearl Jam, and Hunger Strike.
Temple of the Dog.
That was great. And Pearl Jam, I like the instruments. I like the musicianship of it. But Eddie Vedder, I guess it would be the same as Creed. Some people don't like Scott Staff's.
Scott Stapp doesn't have a job without Eddie Vedder.
That's true.
he doesn't. And the guy from the fucking Craig Kroger or whatever the fuck his name is from Nickelback doesn't have a job without Eddie Vedder either.
Yeah.
And Aaron Lewis from Stain. A lot of these guys don't have jobs without him.
Ergo,
because everything was all high pitched. Everything was like in the 80s was all high pitched.
Exactly.
Everything was like And then these guys are like, "Oh, I guess we could sing."
Yeah, but Rick,
with the
wouldn't you
lyrics.
say that?
I'm just saying.
What's his name from the Cult?
Ian Astbury,
Ian Astbury had
Yeah, he
the
was
Eddie
awesome.
voice.
beautiful. I love his voice.
Yeah, he
I
was
love it too,
awesome.
and I think that's what Eddie was trying to emulate.
Yeah, he didn't come close.
No, I'm not comparing the two.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was just
Yeah.
a register up.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, definitely. Well, and Ian Ashbury, he was playing with the Doors. He was singing with the Doors
Well,
after
Hey, Eddie Vedder
reincarnation.
fucking by the way, sang Three Doors songs when they inducted the Doors. So
Yeah, but you're
Well-
really close to saying 3 doors down, so shut up, Mike.
3 Doors down. Come on, that guy's a good singer.
but that's kind of what I meant by the voice that ruined the 90s. And I think it's not quite as simple as a register of everything in the 80s was high, because I mean, Hetfield, Tom Araya, Dave Mustaine. There were growlier vocals, but I think it's the way in which Eddie Vedder kind of combined high pitch with growly just rubs my ear the wrong way, in like the worst way possible.
Is it?
Would it
be,
I can
would it-
understand that.
Would it be safe to say that? I know you say it's a voice that ruined the 90s.
Yeah.
Something that he tried out the first time, because I mean, grunge, for lack of a better term, was classic rock and punk combining together
with metal.
Right. All of that together, and I've talked about this before. Where like Nirvana is a different beast altogether, because that was Cheap Trick and that was punk and that was whatever.
A lot of those other bands like those bands.
Yeah, but so
like Kurt Cobain's not the only person ever like, oh my god, I'm the first person ever like punk and like pop.
No, I'm not saying
that's all
that.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand what Rick's saying about as far as the voice and it's not clicking, because like when he says that, to me that type of band is Rage Against the Machine.
They don't
love the band. I can't stand the lead singer. It ruins damn near every song for me. But I love Audio Slave. Audio Slave's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I could literally hear Chris Cornell.
Yeah, you sing a fucking phone book.
Taxes.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it. Yeah.
Yeah.